God is the Force of Gravity, Part 1, by Jeffrey Scott Flesher. With the science of Johannes Kepler, Sir Isaac Newton and Nikola Tesla, I will create a new science I call Trinary Science. I am Jeffrey Scott Flesher. I am on the autism spectrum disorder level 1, the same as Kepler, Newton and Tesla, which is why I understood them, or because I got 99% on the ASVAB for the mechanical test while in the United States Air Force, meaning I have a very high IQ. I am good at masking, fooling everyone into thinking that I was not autistic, even myself, until my father told me it runs in the family on my 39th birthday on January 14, 2000. Newton was born on December 25, 1642 under the Julian calendar, which only the military uses. The Gregorian calendar changed it to January 4th. Then they removed 10 days, making it the 14th, the same day Edmund Halley died in 1742. Newton calculated the end of time to be on January 14, 2061. NASA proved that our magnetic strength is decaying about 5% per century. This is the reason the calendar was reset to 0. I wrote this to prove Kepler, Newton, Tesla, and the Torah or Bible were right, and Albert Einstein and religion were wrong. People lie about them, so I will correct those lies. Trinary science builds on Newtonian science and does not change it. Sir Isaac Newton stated that light is static because it has no acceleration. Therefore, I will not use the science of Albert Einstein, who said it was dynamic, because that is impossible. Religion teaches that the deity God does not physically exist or exists only as a spirit, is not the same as God who exists as all light without darkness. Newton believed in God but not a deity God, because he said God is the force of gravity in all his equations, proving God is gravity. Gravity is not complex, or hard to understand. I will use two math formulas. The first is Newton's F equals ma, where F is the force of gravity in terms of the m for the mass of matter, times a for its acceleration. Implying E equals ma². E is the energy in that force of gravity, times its acceleration squared. Note that Einstein plagiarized this math by changing a to c, where c is the constant for the speed of light, meaning dynamic light has acceleration. The speed of light is the speed at which the universe moves in all directions. The second formula is, +1, plus, -1, equals 0. This is the truth equation and formula for light. You must graph this formula to understand it. We put +1 on top, and -1 on the bottom, with 0 in the middle where they are equal. The state is called trinary and has three logical states of matter, +1, or solid, -1, or semi-solid, and 0, which is invisible. This is electricity, which makes light, proving it is God. Newton called this Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost Spirit of Mother Nature. The Church admitted to removing Mother Nature as a pagan belief, inserting Christ. Newton proved this, so it is not debatable. Newton proved that if you shine a white light into a three-sided prism, you will see a rainbow of colors he calls darkness, but not black or white, or shades of gray. The dimensions in space are width, depth, and height, making up 3D. There are positive and negative dimensions in space, so there are positive or solid 3D and negative or semi-solid 3D. Time frames 1 to 5 describe a full cycle of alternating current, or AC voltage. The zero-dimensional space is proof that light is static, because it has no dimensions to travel in. There are three types of trinary light: light, darkness, and void. Light is what we can see, darkness is what we cannot see without light, like cosmic rays, and void means no light or darkness exists in that space. Atoms have light and darkness in them, as proof, just split an atom. Electricity makes light, and God is the light and controls the darkness. The artwork of the Torah, written before the 4th century, contains this formula. There are three things that make up atoms: neutrino particles, light and darkness. As proof, you can destroy an atom and use a neutrino detector to detect the neutrinos leaving it. Light and darkness have no mass, but neutrino particles do. Therefore, neutrinos are the mass. When we go from the zero dimension to the third dimension, the atom must travel through the first and second dimensions of space. The fourth dimension and beyond is just a viewpoint to the third dimension, and not a dimension of space. You can destroy an atom, but not energy, which is the light and darkness inside it, proving the mass is the neutrinos leaving the destroyed atoms. God is the energy that makes up light and darkness. Polarity is determined by the outside of the neutrino, but the neutrino itself has no polarity, and is neutral. In the above graph, starting from time frame 1 in the zero dimension, the neutrino collapses and becomes invisible. This is the reason we can see light, and its frequency regulates its color. Heading towards heaven, we have positive energy or north. When we travel to a negative energy or south, we do this in the opposite direction of positive, turning the neutrino inside out, which reverses its polarity. This proves the atom is God. Gravity is the attraction of the positive atom or north to the negative atom or south, proving gravity is simple, and not a complex concept. I will show you through examples how gravity works in the universe. The universe moves in all directions at a constant speed that we imagine as the speed of light, but light does not travel at a constant speed. Starting with the galaxy, which has a trinary engine, which is a large atom, meaning it is larger than the subatomic single atom. If we take one photon and cover it with neutrino particles, we have an atom, but if we take two or more photons and do the same, we have a trinary engine. Looking at this illustration, we will see the electron orbiting ground. The y is the positive or north axis. Z is the negative or south axis and x is ground. If we view this in 2D from the side, it is an electrical waveform. Time equals 1 divided by frequency. Light speed equals wavelength times frequency, which is equal to distance divided by time, so we can calculate time and distance using a waveform. Proves God is the force and energy of gravity in all Newton's calculations. This proves the Torah and Bible are right, and religion, or interpreting the Torah, by people who did not understand this concept, is wrong. Light and darkness inside the atoms are static. They do not move in the universe, so the universe drags them in the direction they are traveling. This process is true for all atoms and trinary engines, like galaxies, stars, planets, and moons. Objects on a planet or moon are moving with it. When the galaxy or sun formed, it had a positive or north, and negative or south axis. This sets the direction the objects initially orbit. All objects will reverse their polarity, but not their direction. This makes the orbiting objects either repel or attract it. If it did not reverse polarity, gravity will capture the object or release it. A good example is our Sun as it orbits the galaxy. The Sun, like all atoms, travels in a corkscrew motion, with the axis of the galaxy positive or negative, meaning north or south, with the galactic plane being zero or ground. Stars travel from zero up to positive, back to zero, then to negative. Sirius is a binary dog star creating a 24-hour day. A dark star exists in the galactic plane, and it has several companion dark stars that keep the stars on track. To understand a track, see my galaxy calculator at am-tower.com/galaxy-calculator. This means that an electron does not travel on a wire or trace, but orbits around it. Nikola Tesla stated light is everything, and we are light beings. The Bible confirms we are in God's image. This is a brief explanation of what gravity is and how gravity works, proving God is gravity. It explains what Newton meant when he said God is gravity. You can believe what you want, but if you want to say Newton was wrong, then stop using his math, because it will not work if you make light dynamic, as Einstein did. The sun does not burn hydrogen. It is not a fire, nor is it a nuclear reaction. It creates plasma, which is electricity. Centrifugal force does not create gravity but can amplify it. You cannot debunk what I said because, logically, it is the only way the universe can work according to Kepler, Newton, and Tesla.